Welcome back, everybody. It's Kyle, and I'm here with Albert again. And today we'll be discussing the art of confident and effective pitching. Lesson 3 is all about communication, specifically how to pitch your ideas effectively. Whether you're talking to investors, teammates, or clients, your ability to communicate with confidence can make or break your opportunity. For the first main point, we'll be discussing confidence and first impressions. First impressions are important, but what really sells your message is confidence. People respond to how you carry yourself just as much as what you say. Believe in your message, and that belief becomes contagious. So, Albert, for the first question, can you describe a time where your confidence or lack of it affected how a pitch or meeting went?
Kyle, absolutely. Just as like a preface to this question, just remember your story sells your vision long before your data does. And so exhume confidence, exhume mastering of the knowledge of what you're presenting. Don't be afraid to make a mistake, make the mistake fast, make it clean, make it speak with the confidence. I think, for me, I have zero fear of speaking in front of one person, 1,000 people, 15,000 people, because I'm confident that I'm well prepared and step into the stage. There have been times where I didn't prepare myself and it showed. And I think it translated into lack of confidence, lack of style, lack of precision. And so did I walk away with closing the deal? Absolutely not. What I did walk away with was the knowledge that I must and have to prepare myself in order to be successful. And so oftentimes before walking into a room, I'm going to research, not oftentimes, every time, I'm going to research everybody that's in that room. I'm going to know exactly how that person can help me, can block me, or can be a champion of what I'm doing. And so the key takeaway, Kyle, I think is just being prepared. And that starts long before you get there.
So would you say preparation is the key to confidence?
I'd say it's my key. There are people who don't need to prepare and just can walk in a room and they just know how to overtake the room. And so I think everybody's different. I think you have to look within yourself to figure out what your keys to success are and just master those. I think one size doesn't fit all. But for me personally, preparation is absolutely the key to my success.
Okay. I think there's a lot of people who agree. I definitely agree with that, especially playing football. When you go out there, if you want to play faster, you have to watch film. You have to prepare with your coaches. And I'm not going to sit here and say I'm the best at preparation, but that definitely helps whenever you want to improve yourself and improve your game.
You know what, Kyle, before you even get to the next question, that's a key point. You're a sophomore at Hampton University. You don't have to be the best today. The fact that you recognize that you're not the best at preparation means that you have to double down on preparing yourself right now to be the best at that.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Our next question is, how do you personally prepare to sound confident before speaking or presenting?
Oh, Kyle, I use my sounding boards. I'll run through my playbook that I've created as even Kyle, as we prepare for this. I sent you over, a memo of how I thought this should go, and the key points is because that started a week and a half ago, and we're now at the point where it's like, okay, I'm mentally prepared. Then I physically run through my notes and I physically I'll speak them. I'll say it, mentally, internally, and so it comes with practice. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm here with you, Kyle, because I've failed many times, and I've been successful. But I've failed more than I've been successful. You just don't hear about the failures. The failures aren't the loud ones. We tout the success, but trust me, there's a ton of failure in Albert Tsai's past. And future.
Okay. You can't escape failure. You can only improve on it. So I definitely appreciate that. Our next main point is be concise and respect time. When pitching, time is limited. You need to grab attention, deliver value, and close strong. It's not about talking more, it's about saying what matters. How do you make sure your pitches stay clear and to the point?
Kyle, man, you're spot on with all these questions. So let's just put it in perspective. If I've got 7 minutes to pitch to somebody, to give my extended elevator pitch, what I want to do is use 4.5 minutes of that to really drive in the point. And then the remaining balance of the time, I'm hoping there's going to be some questions. I'm hoping there's going to be some back and forth, because you want to allot for the people that you're presenting to be able to either validate your thesis or to pick it apart. And either way, you're going to walk away better. Right? If they validate it, you're going to potentially win. If they pick it apart, it's going to cause you to think about things that you probably haven't thought about before. And so just remember time value. You said something super important. As I was matriculating through college, I joined an organization that taught me what time value was. And so, a lot of people go through life without valuing the most precious commodity that we have. Is time. Time makes you wealthy. Being able to do whatever you want to do on your own time makes you wealthy. Cash gives you the ability to do it. And so it all starts at allotting for your presentation to hit a specific time mark, a benchmark. Time yourself. So that's really, I think, being prepared where it starts. It's having that foundation of awareness and being timely. Some core things that I'm personally using, when I pitch to investors or partners, I know they're not just investing in the business, they're investing in me. So my story makes the numbers mean something. So I've seen people with brilliant ideas lose the room because they couldn't explain why it mattered. So the gap, that's really the gap in the vision and that the storytelling fills. And so you don't have to be loud, you just have to be clear. You speak with purpose, confidence, and hoping that you make a connection with somebody in that group. Before you pitch anything, ask yourself, does my story make someone care enough to believe in me?
Right.
And as you guys are thinking about who's going to be the lead in your group, think about whose story really stands out as the story really connects to what you're pitching. So those are some of the things that enter my mind as I'm walking in a room, and so, why it matters to you guys now. You're entering into a world where communication is currency, whether it's pitching to investors, interviews for jobs, or leading teams. It really teaches you the credibility, the authenticity to go further than, rehearse perfection. Don't just rehearse something, live it, feel it, really. And the takeaway from this is storytelling is your superpower. Everyone has a unique narrative that can open doors.
Okay. I understand that 100%. Authenticity, I think that's a good word for it. If you're authentic about what you're pitching, then it'll exude confidence.
Yeah, Kyle. And really, for me, the key takeaway from all of that is your story is your currency. If you learn how to tell it with conviction, people will remember your name long after the pitch is over.
100%. All right. For our last point, we'll be discussing using data and passion. Numbers build credibility, but passion builds trust. Use both. Tailor your pitch to your audience, whether it's data-driven investors or community partners who connect more with emotion. Show that you not only understand your idea, but you believe in it. So for the first question, what advice would you give to someone who's nervous about pitching?
Oh, man, nervous about pitching. I would probably say you just have to realize that it does nervousness equate to loss of an opportunity? Does nervousness equate to the loss of the potential investor? Does nervousness equate to, you have to figure out what that actually means. What is nervousness? What is the end result of nervousness? And if you can figure out like what is driving you personally, that equation should scare you. You
Mm-hmm.
know, and if being nervous is going to cost you these 10 things, then I would quickly get over being nervous.
Right. Have you ever had a time where you were nervous and had to get over it as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Kyle, there's been times where I've had the opportunity to be in rooms and people have asked my opinion on things. You know, I've worked with some of the greatest athletes, you know, in the world. Specifically, I'll tell you a time I was in the room with Shaquille O'Neal, his agents, and his team from Authentic Brands Group, and they asked me my opinion about, you know, the direction of how this brand that I'm pitching to him will change and evolve and make people better. And you know what? I didn't have the perfect answer, but what I had was the conviction because I knew what the product can do. And
Right.
so, as the subject matter expert in the room, they trusted me with that, and from that point, they made the decision. Okay, Albert, you know what? You have been successful over multiple brands. You're bringing this to Shaquille not only as his friend but as a business partner. The
Right.
deal is over 7 figures. It's going to give him, you know, some upside if the company sells. If the term looks good, I think we can do the deal. And you know, but was I nervous sitting next to, you know, it wasn't even about Shaq because I'm friends with him. It wasn't about him. I got
Right.
over that business years ago. It was about the guys and the people in the room that ran a multi-billion-dollar business. And
Mm,
so I had to really tell myself internally, I belong here. I
right.
belong at this table. I am one of them. They've invited me here because I belong. I'm bringing value. I had to coach myself, you know, and hype myself up.
Right.
And this is things that people don't tell you you have to do. You have to be your own best coach. And
Right.
so, you know,
True.
I think the playing sports, being injured, being just and not being successful in sports taught me that, you know what, you only get a few opportunities, and sometimes you only get one, and this
Right.
may be the one.
That's 100% true. Playing football has definitely taught me that second chances do not come often, if at all. So when you get the chance, make sure you make it your best one.
That's right.
My next question is, how do you balance being professional while still showing genuine passion?
You know, fantastic question. And so I've always led with being a non-transactional individual. What that means is I've always given more than I've taken. In all my personal relationships, I'm known as a giver. In all my professional relationships, I'm known as a giver. And so I will give not only like a connection, I will give an introduction, I will give advice without the expectation of something transactional happening immediately.
Right.
And so, you know, going back to the Shaquille O'Neal situation, we met 11 years ago. It took us 5 years to actually do a deal together
Mm,
because it wasn't, for me, it wasn't about, oh, how can I get Shaq to do a deal? We were just hanging out. We were
yeah.
having fun. We were double dating. We were going to dinners. We were going to movies. And
Right.
so when the opportunity arose, he knew what I've done. He knew my track record, and he actually came to me and said, I want to be a part of this transaction, this next, whatever you do next, I want to be a part of it. And
Right.
so you just have to really lead with being an individual of high character, integrity, and non-transactional.
Okay. Non-transactional. That's definitely one that isn't talked about enough. So that actually wraps up this lesson.